What's going on, my beautiful people? This is your certified life and relationship coach, Coach Court. In this video, we're going to talk about why you attract toxic people into your life. All right. But before we get into that, if you are not part of the membership program, I would advise you to join that membership program. You get 20 minutes of coaching with me one-on-one every single month, as well as priority over other people when it comes to email responses, and you get 15% off any coaching session. So make sure you make that happen if you are interested in coaching. I really feel this is really good for your bang. Get you a lot of bang for your buck. And I'm all about helping people save money. We're rolling back into another lockdown, so I think, but it's about to get real ugly again here in the U.S. of A's. Like they used to say on Borat, US of A. So I appreciate you guys being here. Also, I have the Patreon account. If you guys are interested in that, please look into that as well. There's so many people out there that don't know much about Patreon, and they're a little bit leery about joining the Patreon account. But I'm telling you, you get 70% off, and I have exclusive content on there that I do not have on YouTube. I have stuff there that it's a little bit more raw and up close, a little bit more intimate than it is here on YouTube. But I appreciate you guys for being here. I'm going to give time for other people to come in here. I know that, Wednesday nights are usually a little bit of a slow night, but you know what? I'm going to make it do what it do, because that's what I do. Like, I love coaching. I love being here with you guys, and I love speaking to you guys and helping you solve anything that you're struggling with in life, life goals, business goals, relationship goals exclusively. But I got a little bit of everything in there. I got a lot of sprinkles in there. So I'll give you guys a little bit more time. Simone, good to see you. Glenn, what's up, brother? I forgot where you're from. What country are you from? Remind me, refresh me. Glenn, Simone is a longtime member. Glenn is a moderator for the channel. I don't know if he's a member or not, but I know anytime I talk about, super chat money, I talk about the new avatar system they have going on. It's cool. Like you donate a little money, and they put like this little avatar up there, which is it's actually really cool. I've only seen it a couple times, but the UK, Glenn from the UK. All right. So I went ahead and took a couple notes here today because, usually I shoot from the hip and I do my thing, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of list off a few things and freestyle it from there. List off a few reasons why I feel you attract toxic people in your life. And, the number one reason, actually, I'm not even going to go in order. I'm just going to give you guys just reasons why you do it. The first reason is you set poor boundaries. Now, people pick up on that. If you are somebody that's used to attracting people into your life that always step over your boundaries, don't respect you, that's a huge thing. Respect. If you can't set boundaries for yourself, I'm looking in the wrong camera. I'm used to looking up there at the camera that is actually a good camera. This camera here, I'm sorry, I had some issues. I know I started late, but something's going on with my camera. I'm a little bummed out, and so I have to use this potato of my web camera. I had to hold back there. I had to use this potato to record this on tonight, but I'm still here with you guys because I would much rather record this way than just completely ignore the live stream tonight. So I don't know what's going on, but lack of boundaries, period. People who can't set boundaries for themselves, they become pushovers. All right, they become people that other people understand they can get away with. They're like, oh my, you know what? This person's a little bit easy. This is why when you head out into the dating world and you don't have good boundaries for yourself, where people are able to text you at whenever they want to, you're always available. You're always someone that they can rely to respond to your text, because when you get into the dating world, people are really flaky. And when it comes to setting boundaries for yourself, like if they're texting you in the middle of the night, if they don't understand, if you tell them that you're at work and you're working right now and they're still texting you, you know, it's important for you to learn to set boundaries for yourself, even in those little instances. Those will be really good practice situations where you can say, hey, I'm at work. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't want to continue to text at work. You know, I don't want to get in trouble. Or, you know, it's rude to my boss because he's paying me or she's paying me. So you have to make sure that you're able to set boundaries in that way. If there are things that is going on in the relationship that you don't like, I was talking to somebody today. The little things like, you know, if you're on a date and they're there, you know, it's maybe your first date with this person, you're just meeting this person and they're there texting and they're just not really paying you any attention. You know, one way to, you know, step up your game and set the boundaries for yourself and say, hey, if what you're doing right now is more important than being with me, then we might as well just end the date right now. You know, I would much rather for you to be here and be present with me if you're going to sit there and text. Now, you guys can say that that's rude or disrespectful. Put the one in the chat. If you feel like people texting on your first date, second date, doesn't really matter. If you're out on a date and you're the one that's paying for the meal and you're the one that set the date and you're being present with that person, put a one in the chat if you feel like that's a way to set good boundaries for yourself. Now, I know people are going to say that, well, what if I run an online business, or what if I do this, or I got kids and I need to make sure that the babysitter, then that's an exception. As long as you're communicating that, as long as you're saying, all right, I got to check in with my babysitter real quick. You know, that's being respectful. But if they're just there and they're scrolling, they're maybe on Instagram or on Facebook, then it's like, all right, you're setting poor boundaries for yourself. And a coach told me once, he said, what you observe, you allow. So if you're sitting there and you're observing it and you're not saying anything about it, you're being hush hush because you don't want to be rude and you don't want to be confrontational, because a lot of people that can't set boundaries for themselves, they don't want to be confrontational. So you need to be able to do that for yourself, hold space for yourself, because what's going to happen is you're going to consistently teach that person how to treat you. So if you're together and they're way more interested in somebody else or what's going on the other side of the world than what's going on right in front of their face, then you're teaching them that. Simone, how's it going? Feeling good. I'll get to the second one real quick in a minute. I'm good. Thank you. All right. Lack of boundaries and want to save people, help them improve. Yeah, I'm going down that alley real quick here, Marcia. That's exactly how it goes down, though. That's it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Nice Guys finished last. There's a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy, and I've actually read that book several times. It's by Robert Glover. It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And in the book, he talks a lot about how husbands and people that are, you know, spouses, they struggle with being able to set boundaries for themselves because they feel like it's what they're worth. You know, they feel as if, all right, this person is with me. Thank goodness this person is with me. I can't believe that they're appeasing a peasant like me. And it's just a poor way to think about things. You know, you're equal. You don't have to put up with things simply because you feel as if they're doing you a favor. And this is what I learned about a lot of men that I coach. They feel as if a woman agrees to go on a date with them, they have to please them. They have to be appreciative of the woman's time when it's equal. And I tell people, you know, when you first start dating someone, you're both on probation. You know, you shouldn't be sitting here thinking like, I hope she likes me. You should be thinking like, I hope I like her, because I could tell you that many times women are thinking like, I hope this isn't a waste of time. They're talking to their girlfriends. I hope this isn't a waste of time. I hope I like this guy, you know, X, Y, insert whatever they typically talk about. But it puts men in a weak position because they're constantly nervous about doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing and turning a woman off when it should be equal. You should be thinking like, I hope I like her. I hope she says something that doesn't annoy me, that doesn't turn me off. But that's just from experience of the guys that I've worked with. All right. So I'm not sitting here trying to play this us versus you game. It's just what I've learned, and what I learned is my truth. And I talk about that all the time. Go back and listen to a lot of my previous live sessions where I talk about how I discovered my truth, you know. And the next one is no more Mr. Nice Guy. You're a positive person. Now, I'm not going to beat people up for being a positive person, but here's the thing about positive people. Positive people attract narcissistic, toxic people, right? And the reason why it happens is narcissistic people, people that are in cluster B, they want what you have. They want that energy. They can't let off that energy. It's like they get envious of you. Empaths attract narcissistic people and vice versa. So if you're a positive person, I know that it really scars people. Like if you go to my Instagram account, look at all the comments in the section. They're talking about how, oh, I'm changing now. I'm never going to be this way. I'm never going to be that way anymore. I'm not going to expose myself to this or that. But you can't let that change you. You know, you just need to be aware that, hey, there's going to potentially be somebody that comes along that's going to look at me weird, that's going to treat me weird, that's going to try to take advantage of me for my positivity. And you know, the old saying, you know, some people take your kindness for a weakness. So don't allow for that to happen. You just need to have your antennas up, you know, your spidey senses. I talk about all the time. Your spidey senses has to be tingling about how a person's showing up and if they have the best intentions in your life. All right. So if they're just there because they're trying to absorb all your positivity, because what happens is when a person that's narcissistic, I don't even like saying the word, but when a person's narcissistic, they kind of drain you of all of that positivity. And then when there's nothing left, when they feel like, oh, I've had enough of this person, they'll just toss you to the side. You know, if they're done with, you know, whatever supply you're giving them, then they're done with you. So can never go wrong with being at high alert whenever you sense somebody purely being there, because they're going to be negative. You know, it's pretty easy to spot. They'll be the person that's always kind of humdrum, the person that has this dark cloud over their head. They have no ambition. They're pretty lazy. They're not really enthusiastic about anything in life. Those are the people. Those are the people that you're gonna, if you're a positive person. And here's the thing about it. Like, this is the way that you know that the person was draining you of your energy. When they leave and exit your life, you're so much more spry. You have so much more energy about yourself. You have a pep in your step again. And I'm not saying that you need to stop being a positive person. I'm saying that you just need to be aware of people's intentions when they come into your life. And if they're not reciprocating that same positivity, or if they're not fueling you, you know, like people say all the time, you know, your closest 5 influences will be what you'll become. They have to be able to motivate you and help match that amount of energy and positivity that you give to people. To the chat cave. All right. So who's all in here? Marcia, where you from? Well, yeah, they do. If we're gonna answer that question there for you, do narcissistic people hook on to confident and secure people? They have to. Now, I posted a quote today on Instagram that talks about how, I'm going to read this quote because I want to make sure that I say it correctly and I'm not misquoting. Yeah, I posted, I've never met a person who felt worthless about themselves that didn't try to make others feel the same way. Don't let them project onto you. And I had a person inbox me asking me, how does a worthless person feel? How does worthless feeling person project? How does a worthless feeling person project? All right, there it is. And my answer to that was, I guess from my perspective, they try to tear down other people's accomplishments and sense of self-worth. It's a direct reflection on how they feel inside about themselves. Now, the coach that I used to study for a very long time, he said, no one would ever say to you or do to you that isn't a direct reflection on how they feel inside. So if a person's feeling ugly, down, depressed, stressed, the minute that they open up their mouth, that's exactly what's going to come out. Wayne Dyer talked about this too. Wayne Dyer said that whatever you have inside of you, when pressures apply, when stress is applied to your life, you're going to release exactly that. If you squeeze an orange, you wouldn't expect for apple juice to come out, right? You will expect for exactly what's inside of it to come out. So there are so many people that parade around as oranges when they're really apples inside. If that makes sense. He said, so you can't expect for a person that's an unhappy person to exuberate happiness when they're being squeezed and the pressure's put on, when they're stressed out in life. So it's important for you guys to realize that, when you think about COVID and how COVID really brought out the apples in people, my business soared throughout COVID. The relationship coaching business soared because people were either stuck together or they were stuck apart. And that's stress. When the stress was put on, when they weren't able to leave or when they weren't able to sustain a relationship through some other way of communicating with each other or some other way of building a connection, then that's when the ugliness started to come out. That's when the apple juice started to come out. So let me stop this banner. So yeah, looks like I didn't promote this video very well today, but it's all good because I'm glad I'm here with you guys. Alberta, Canada. All right. My next reason. Got to find it for you guys. You are a people pleaser. One of the reasons that you attract toxic people was because you're a people pleaser. And like I said earlier, people pick up on that. If you're someone who can never say no, if you're always putting other people's needs ahead of yours, which is textbook anxious attachment, we give to other people because we feel as if they'll leave us, they'll abandon us if we were to say no. Now, if you're someone that, now I'm not saying all people pleasing is bad, because when you go to relationships, to make that person's life better. You want to improve their life. You want to make sure that they are feeling loved and appreciated in their relationship. But when you're doing it in a manner that is completely diluting your needs and what you want out of life. Thanks for the super chat, the super sticker. Where is it at? Did it pop up? Glenn, thanks, buddy. Then you're not being genuine to yourself. You're being disingenuous, and you need to really think about what you need to improve about yourself. Now, whether that be going to counseling or therapy to be able to strengthen that lack of self-worth and a lack of ability to put your needs first, or be able to at least advocate for your needs. Now, I know a lot of people that I coach that are struggling with anxious attachment. They may be someone who is someone that's a dismissive avoidant. They really dilute themselves and aren't able to advocate for themselves and speak for what they want out of life and what they feel is healthy behaviors in a relationship. So they consistently build up this resentment, which leads to them protesting and blowing up on that person. Said, you know what? I'm sick of this. They may send 45 messages in a row because they have ignored what they really wanted out of that person, or the behaviors that they really wanted to see show up for about 3-4 weeks straight. And those are people-pleasing behaviors. They even talk about that in the book by Robert Glover, No More Mr. Nice Guy. They talk about how Nice guys are the guys that are in the marriage, the husbands that are in the marriage where they completely neglect their needs. They're the guys that are like, yes, dear, no, dear. They may not be getting intimacy at all, maybe once or twice a month. And what happens after a while is they start to form this strong disdain for their wives, or they may go out and start cheating. So at the end of the day, like if you're a people pleaser, you're really hurting yourself, Don't forget the thumbs up, please. Yeah, don't forget to like the feed, everybody. Let YouTube know that, hey, Court's out here and he's trying to educate you guys. So I'll recap here really quick, and then I'll get on to some then I'm a freestyle for you guys. And I don't like doing this whole list thing. So the first thing is why you attract toxic people in your lives is because you set poor boundaries. All right. The number 2 reason is you are a positive person. And the number 3 reason is because you are a people pleaser. All right, but I'm going to go deeper into the subconscious mind and how the subconscious works. All right. The subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of the way that we operate. All right. What we do, what we say, the things that were ingrained in us as a kid, that's going to show up in your subconscious mind. So if you were in a household where dad struggled with going in and out of jail, maybe struggled with alcohol addiction or any other type of addiction, what's going to happen is that's going to get set in your subconscious mind. It's like normal. Like this is just how households operate, right? Wrong. If you don't uproot those things that has been planted into your subconscious mind, what's going to happen is you're going to grow up and be more attracted to the type of people that looked exactly like the dad or the mom, the dad that wasn't available, or the mom that was abusive and controlling. You're going to grow up and attract those type of people into your life. And it's going to feel like, all right, well, this is normal. This feels like home. I've seen it so many times where people fall in love with really toxic people, maybe abusers, addicts, whatever, codependent people. And they end up not understanding why they are consistently attracting these people into their lives. Now, it's funny because I was just talking to a client earlier today, and I was saying that your family and your friends, they're going to be the ones that are telling you exactly what's going on. But most of the time, people are being stubborn. They don't want to listen. They don't want to believe in what their parents are saying, or, they feel like their parents are trying to control their lives or whatever. But they're telling you exactly what they're seeing because you're such in this fog of, I guess, what's the word? Enamorance, maybe. You're in such a fog where you can't really see clearly because you're so infatuated with that person that you don't see any of the red flags that your parents, your friends are all seeing, and a lot of times your friends will come and tell you things and you won't even believe it because you're so used to that dynamic, subconsciously. Like I'm sure like when you were growing up, if you had a parent that was cheating on the other parent and you end up finding out about it, and you go tell the other one and they don't do anything about it, you're probably like, well, so-and-so put up with it, mom put up with it, dad put up with it. So what's the point of even saying anything about it? And it's like, well, I was so used and conditioned to these type of conditions. Like I've worked with people who were from like Afghanistan, literally from Afghanistan, and they ended up having really toxic behaviors in relationships because the type of trauma that they went through and the type of things that they seen, like he's saying, we just had to survive. As a kid, that's all we cared about, surviving. And what we saw from our parents, it wasn't really love. It was more like, all right, we're taking numbers here. We kept our kids alive for this day. So that was like a huge accomplishment for me. And going into relationships is really tough for me because I don't understand exactly what, and he was a self-proclaimed narcissist. He knew it. He's out. Yep. I don't really put a high stock on relationships, but this one girl really broke his heart. So he had to hit me up for a session. But there it is, guys. Your subconscious mind is extremely powerful. It's extremely, well, it's just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's extremely powerful, and it's responsible for how you operate. And if you guys aren't familiar with the law of attractions, a law of attraction concept, it was a concept that was popular for maybe like the past decade, and it's actually gaining in numbers. Now I talk a lot about the 12 laws of the universe, or I study it a lot, and how there are universal laws in this world that can't be broken. Now, I'm not talking about the government-made laws. There are laws that cannot be broken. Laws like the law of attraction, law of manifestation. Actually, I'm going to look it up right here with you live. And I believe in them. I believe in them wholeheartedly. Yeah, there it is. The law of vibration, the law of attraction, the law of divine oneness, the law of cause and effect. And I'm not going to read them all off. You guys can look that up on your own time. But those laws they're just. It is no way to break them. If you do this, then this will happen. So when it comes to the law of attraction, I believe that you attract what you fear the most, or you attract what you are. And if you're a fearful person, you're going to attract other fearful people into your lives. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to give you guys too much content tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. Understand that if you are somebody who is constantly drawing in people who are toxic, do the inventory on yourself. Think about your history. Think about what you've been through. Really dig deep in personal development and ask yourself the tough questions, the questions that you need to know about yourself. And you need to face the mirror, because what happens is a lot of people don't want to face the mirror. They don't want to look at themselves as being someone who struggles with a certain problem. And, like I say all the time, when it comes to anxious attachment and love addiction, the first step to recovery is admitting that you have a problem. Admit that, hey, I think I am a love addict, which means I may be AKA codependent on people in relationships. So if you found this video of any value, please like, comment, and share. Book a session with me. If you're not part of the membership program, right here on YouTube, you can hit join. Also, Patreon, that link is in the description below. I'll put that in there a little bit later. I appreciate you guys so much. Really do. Last night I did an Instagram live, and it was kind of embarrassing because it was just a really good session. And I ended up I started to water up a little bit. I'm just so grateful and so humbled that you guys appreciate me. You guys see the work that I do as being valuable. And I'm just extremely humble. Extremely humble. So, namaste. Love you guys. If you guys are just coming in here, go back and watch the replay. I gave you 3 reasons why I feel like you attract people into your life that are toxic. And then I also go a little bit about the subconscious mind. So follow me on all the social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is I am Coach Court. And I appreciate you guys. Namaste. Peace.